We are truly honoured today. Can you please put a mighty hand together for Croz Crossley?
Okay, let's get the elephant out of the room. Gout. Ladies, a worse pain than childbirth. So I've been told, but I'll never know. But there you go. My name's Croz Crossley, and I've spent the last 25 years telling people how really powerful they are when they harness the power of their mind. And during that time, I've been teaching people why they do what they do, but more importantly, why they don't do what they should do, right? Because we're programmed from a very early age. So if I were to ask you a question, would you like to know why you can't actually just go that little bit further in life? Be a good idea? Who's looked up the road and said, he's a lucky fella, everything he touches turns to gold? And you're there doing exactly the same thing, right? But you just can't get over the wall. So let me give you a little secret. Now, this is your brain, right? It's not to scale, because it wouldn't fit in your head, but that is your brain. And during the course of your life, you have been programmed by some very well-intentioned people. Mum and dad, aunties and uncles, and all their friends and business associates, and everyone has programmed you. You got mum and dad, the school teacher, they did a lot to help you, didn't they? Telling you wouldn't amount to anything. Well, that's a nice thing to say, isn't it, when you're trying to do your best? You won't amount to anything. Then you got Auntie Lil, Dad's sister. You sat on her lap and she said, you tell her you're going to open a business when you get. I said, oh, don't do that. Because I spoke to Bill up the pub and he told me that he knew someone that opened a business and they went skin. So best you don't do that. So all this rubbish has been planted in your head here by all those well-intentioned people. Now, here's the wall. 90, and it's over 90, but we'll say 90 because it'll make you feel a bit better. Over this side of the wall, you've got the 10% who's the lucky bugger up the street, who everything goes right. And you keep saying, why can't I get things happening like the bloke up the road? But this is what happens. All these people here have programmed you. And don't get me wrong, none of them have done it to harm you. They think they're doing the right thing by telling you not to do something, right? When they should have spent their whole life telling you, do it, do it, do it. And you wouldn't be stuck where you are. But all these people have said that. So, a thought comes into your head. And it's, let's say it's an A thought. Now pay attention, because this is going to get you over this wall, all right? A thought comes into your head, it's an A thought, right? And you're stuck here because you're having A thoughts. So A thought comes in, it goes through your conscious mind and it goes searching down here. Mum and Dad, the teacher, Bill up the pub, Auntie Lil, all those people down here go searching for the answer. And it comes back and it says, yep, we can agree with that. A thought's all right. So you get an A result. Make sense so far? Right. So then some bloke with white hair, a beard, and not a bad looking fella by all accounts, pokes his head over the wall and he says, oi, I got a bit of information for you. Yeah? Well, do this, and he gives you a load of things to do, and he pops over here, and it's a B thought, right? A B thought. All your problems are solved in that thought, the B thought. So, it goes into the conscious mind, and where does the conscious mind go looking for its answer? Down here, right? For all that bits and pieces. So this is where you are restrained. So you go down here with a B thought, and you come down here, and it searches through, and it comes back, and what answer do you think it gives you? An A. Does this make any sense? So you've been told how to get over this wall and join these people here, but your subconscious mind is saying, no, we can't give you permission on that. So a B thought goes in, which is going to solve all your problems, and you're all excited. And who's had that? And then all of a sudden, reality check. Oh, I better not. Oh, I better not. I'll be going into a world I don't understand. So it comes back an A answer. So your B goes in, and A comes out. You ain't never going to get over that wall. Come on, let's say, you ain't getting over that wall unless you go down here and have a row with all these voices in your head, because they're pinning you to the spot, right? They're absolutely pinning you to the spot. Now, on this side of the wall, we've got Fad. And on this side of the wall, we've got Fad. Hang on a minute. Hang on, they're both the same. They're not. Because this stands for fear, anxiety, and doubt. But this here stands for focus, action, and destination. That's what's separating you from getting over that other side of the wall. All right? Now, there's no earthly reason why you can't get over that wall. And it doesn't matter where you are on the journey. It don't matter if you're skint down here or got a few quid and up here, but you just want to go that little bit further. So wherever you are on the journey, you've got to take on that bit of information to get over the wall. Making sense so far? Right. So, I'm sure someone will photograph that for you later, put it on social media, and say he's at it again. Lovely. I thought I was Vincent van Gogh in a previous life. Anyway, so there you go. So how does all this work? How does it happen? Now, you've been programmed. Now, after 25 years, and I might even, if we got time, I might tell you how I started learning this stuff, because I thought I was really clever, and I made some decisions when I was stressed. Anyway, after 25 years, here is the absolute guaranteed formula for success. Who wants to hear it? No? Don't you want to hear it? Why not? Cheer up. Oh, you do? So I thought you were going like that. Anyway, now for 25 years, and I've been and heard every speaker. I've been to every bloody seminar you could imagine. I've bought every book to try and prove all this stuff wrong. And you know what happened? The more I tried to prove it wrong, the more it made sense. And then when I started actioning it, I couldn't believe what happened to me, right? And then I couldn't wait to tell as many people as possible. And this is going to sound so simple, because after 25 years, there's only that much to learn. It's a shame, isn't it, when you've got a room full of books, eh? And you keep chasing that elusive bit of information to get you over the wall, right? Only that much to learn. Watch this. Where you want to go, I call your CMI. A lot of people that I talk to, and a lot of people, I say, how you going? All right, but I feel a bit lost. I say, oh, you feel lost? Where are you going? I don't know. You feel lost, but you don't know where you're going. You can't be lost if you don't know where you're going. You're just spinning like a top. So the first thing you've got to do is find out where you're going, right? Who's got a vision or a goal, right? Who hasn't? Come on, be honest with me. I'm medically trained. Lovely. That makes up the numbers, makes me feel better. Anyway, so all those people who put their hand up, you're kidding yourself. You know why? Because you have got a vision of what you think you can get. It ain't what you want. It's not what you want. Everyone in here, cast your mind back 10 years. Come on, mentally take yourself back to 10 years ago. And then, at that point, predict or say that where you are now is where you're going to be in 10 years' time. Who would have said that was a bit of a stretch 10 years ago to say where they are now? Who would have said that? I think everybody does, because all of a sudden you might have bought an house, or you've done something, you started your business, and your things are happening in your life that you could not possibly 10 years ago have said that's going to happen. So I was working with a charity at lunchtime today, and the woman, I've been coaching her, and she said to me, I can't work it out. I just can't take the charity past this point. So when we started talking about it, the magic 10 years ago, I said, what was your vision 10 years ago? Well, to have a self-funding charity. Right, what you got? A self-funding charity. Oh yeah. So she's got exactly what she visualised, but it ain't what she wanted, because now she knows she only had to ask for a little bit more. Right? She now wants it to be commercialised, to get money. Instead of having the begging bowl out, she's going to earn the money to run the charity. But she hadn't visualised that 10 years ago. So your mind's so powerful that it will stop you at the point of your dominant thought. Crazy, isn't it? Right? So all you people that have got your vision or your goal, cancel it. Rewrite it a bit later on today, because you'll find that you haven't stretched yourself far enough. And in 10 years' time, right, if you put your vision in 10 years' time, there's two things that cause stress: time and money. And it's a lack and excess of both of them that cause stress. Right? So you want to aim somewhere down the middle, because that's the perfect place to be, right, in the flow. So when you create your CMI, give yourself a stretch. Because I'm telling you, Uncle Croz been observing this for 25 years, there ain't no way known that you ain't going to get it. So make it what you want, not at this point in time you think you can get. All right? So make it what you want, but don't in here put money, right? Because you might shortchange yourself. Because when we leave Brexit, it might be worth nothing, right? So if you've got a big pile of money in your vision, all of a sudden it's reduced to nothing. That'd be a shame, wouldn't it? So don't put money in it. Put what you want. And if you, like, I don't think it, like, jets and boats and bits and pieces. That's all right. That's just that's normally the vision of someone says, I'll ignore the family and I'll ignore playing golf and I'll ignore everything else, because when I get the boat and all the lovely things, I'll be happy. Well, I'm telling you, it don't work. Happiness is not a destination. Happiness is. Happiness can only be now, right? So the first thing to do, get this picture clear. Absolutely crystal clear. Write it down as if you're watching it, okay? And live it now. Oh, he's lost it now. How on earth can you do that? Right? How on earth can you possibly do that? Sorry, I'll stay in the 90%. I ain't bothering to get over that bloody wall if you're going to talk rubbish like that. But when you go on holiday, see, when I first started, there wasn't no such thing as a computer. I used to look at a brochure. Lovely, beautiful brochure. The beautiful blue sky, the palm trees and the beach, right? And I'd shoot along to the old travel agent and I'd give her my deposit, and what happens the minute I do it? I'm there. I've committed to it. And if it's 6 months away, you live on it, don't you? When things are a bit difficult, you go, oh, that's all right, I'm going on holiday. Right? Now, when you're visualising the holiday, right, this is the thing that we do, because we're humans, right? We're the only thing in nature that's got it all wrong. Trust me, right? So you're thinking about your holiday. Who here thinks about their lovely holiday and thinks about it pissing down with rain? Come on, who? No one. Who thinks of it not being sunny? Who thinks of it with all sharks going around biting you? Right? You don't, do you? You don't. You just think of it and you live it. You're feeling it. You go to bed at night having a little on the old pillow and you think, I'm lying on the beach. Lovely gin and tonic. Ooh. Right? That is exactly how you've got to treat your CMI. So you can enjoy something when it's in the distance. Make sense? Right. Now, the reason I put this 10 years away, why do you think that is? To take the pressure off. Because what causes stress? Time and money. So if we say, right, Chris is right, create your vision, right, I want you to get it by tomorrow. Right? Either you switch off or you just start stressing and you can't work out how is it all going to happen. Right? When you put it away like this, once you've implanted this on your mind, right, true story, think of the lady who had the vision of the charity. She got exactly what she asked for. And she realises now she never asked for enough, because on that last 10 years she could have actually been further towards what she wanted. Right? So, make this what you want, not what you think you can get. Okay. Here. Make where you are where you want to be. Okay? Don't ever say, I'll put it off until then, I'll be happy then, I'll go to the kids' pantomime next year because I'm busy this year. Whatever you got to do it now. Don't put things off, because you cannot store happiness. You're either happy or you ain't. Right? And the best way I've found is to be happy. Right? And as much as possible, if you've got a kid to yourself, that's a much better place to be, because in a relaxed state you perform correctly. So make where you are where you want to be. So important, right? Because remember we said about the holiday, and we put all the bits, it's a straight line to the holiday, there's no hurdles, there's no problems. So why, when you think of your goal, your vision, or your clear mental image, as I like to call it, do you keep putting bloody hurdles here? Oh, well, that won't happen because of this. Or how does it happen? You don't need any questions, because provided you're happy where you are and doing the thing, because so many people think, oh, that's all right, I can go and lay on the beach and just think about things and it'll all happen. It won't. You've got to take action. But not only action, efficient action. You know the difference? Because you remember, so I talked to governors of companies, and they got people walking around the office with a big file of things under their arm, making out they're busy. Well, they're taking action, aren't they? But they ain't achieving anything. So what you've got to do, it's got to be efficient action. That is the one that you've got to work on. Make sure that each thing that you do takes you a bit nearer to this. But this is in your mind all the time. You're enjoying that now like the holiday, because you know it's going to happen. Make sense or not? Right. So you make where you are where you want to be. And this is a real big one. And this is something that you can read about in my book if you happen to buy one later on. It explains all what's happened in the past. Good read, actually. Got some really good reviews. Not that I'm here to sell any. Right. So the past. We drag the past around as an excuse for what's going wrong today. Did you know that? If it wasn't for that divorce settlement, I'd have been all right. If that hadn't have happened, everything would have been all right. It's rubbish. It's got nothing to do with what's happening today, has it? Right? I dragged a problem round with me, not a problem, but something that happened to me. I dragged it round for years, and I was pinned to the floor, because every morning I got up and I wanted to work out how I could punish the guy that nicked my business. Right? So instead of getting efficient action, I was having inefficient action go through my head, saying, I wonder if I could rip his head off today, or I wonder if I could go over there with a big bat and beat him over the back of the head every day for 2 years, and I was stuck to the ground. I couldn't move. Right? So take note. If you've got anything in your past that you're using as an excuse for things going wrong today, get rid of it. It ain't serving you. Get rid of it. And mine was a biggie, because my one was, I had a multi-million-pound dollar, as in Australia, multi-million-dollar company. I took a guy off the door. We used to supply doormen. And I had 250 staff, big company for turning over fortunes, getting plenty of money. And I took a guy off the door, trained him up, and he was the operations manager. And I made him a director. I thought, well, I'll do that. I'll reward him for for the input he's given me. Made him a operations manager. And of course, when we took the company on, there was a load of debt with it. We spent over a period of time, we cleared it. So it got to the point where he starts thinking, well, I don't need any money to run this now, because it's sort of self-funding. So he went to all our clients and offered to do the job for an hour, a dollar an hour less. Right? Which, when you work out 250 guys doing about 10 hours a week, was a lot of money, wasn't it? So, 2,500 straight in his kick. So, anything in the past, get rid of it. Not wanted on voyage. And don't do it with your fingers crossed behind your back. Because I went to someone for help. Because I was, I went searching for this answer. This is where I learned all this stuff. And they said to me, what you've got to do is write him a letter. I said, leave me. Write him a letter? I want to hit him over the head with a cricket bat. What do you mean, write him a letter? I said, well. And my wife was there. She went, oi, Croz, you spend your whole life telling everyone else what to bloody do. Ain't it about time you listen to someone? I think you could be right there. So I sat down and I wrote a letter saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. Nick took the company and all that. I don't understand. There must have been a reason for it or whatever. Enjoy the money, everything. But I did it. But then I meant it. And do you know what? I walked along to the old post box, posted that letter, and do you know what? I felt as good as I'd felt ever. Wouldn't believe it, would you? Actually, the funny thing is that the worst day of your life always turns into the best day of your life, because that process is why I'm here now. That process is how I can go round and sort of teach people how to start using their mind properly. Not their brain. The brain and the mind are different. Their mind, right? How to use their mind properly and get hold of a few quid quite easily. So everything's relevant. The worst day of your life always turns out to be the best, because what it does is it forces you to make a decision, right? When you've got no choice, you make a decision. But the trouble is, and I might as well tell you now, the trouble is that I was stressed, right? Absolutely stressed to the max. You imagine, can't you? We're talking of 25 years ago. I was getting £1,000 a week and doing nothing. And all of a sudden, the tap was turned off. I'm stressed, right? So what I'd done is I went and sold everything I could. And I ended up with $250,000. And I think I'm skinned. But where I fell from, 250 grand weren't going to cut it. But what I'd done wrong is I never readjusted to the new position. So we're always making decisions based on the fact where our mind is in the wrong place. So I said, well, now I've got 250 grand. I've worked my nuts off for 20 years getting what I got. So I think what I'll do is I'll try and get it back in 5 minutes. Right? That's the stressed mind talking. Right? Crazy. What I should have done is, like on that programme, dial a friend. Get someone over who turns around and say, Croz, for God's sake, just calm down. There's no rush. There's no fire. Okay? But I didn't. I just couldn't spend the money quick enough. I went and opened a dessert restaurant. Can you believe that? And guess what it was called? Deadly Desserts. Which was aptly named because it nearly killed me. But I said, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make this work. Yet in a few years before, maybe 10 years before, we had a nightclub and we'd had restaurants. And my wife said, Croz, make me a promise. Don't ever, ever get involved in the entertainment or hospitality industry ever again. And there I am with me 250 grand, knocking it out like a lunatic to build up a restaurant, which is something that if I was calm, you couldn't have talked me into it, right? But I knew best because I'm stressed. And the thing is that what you do is you do things that you know aren't going to work, but because you're stressed, you're going to put that little bit of effort in and it's going to work. So the best thing you can do is calm down. So I worked 2 years, 80 hours a week, me and my wife, getting this thing to a point where it was driving us insane. And if I'd have just sat down by me pool, paid myself 25 grand a year, at the end of 2 years I'd have had 200 grand and a clear mind. I had to do something with it. That was the worst thing that could have happened, but I didn't think. I knew I was going to get me money back in 5 minutes. Right, so when you're stressed, you will never, ever make a good decision, all right? So I went along, and this is a thing called sunk investment. If you've ever got a problem with regards making a decision and you've invested time and money in it, you can never, you've got to release that, okay? When I made the decision, I put the key in the door of this restaurant, right? So I just asked myself, is it serving me? No. Can I get it going any better? Yeah, but I don't want a lot of aggravation. I'm not enjoying myself. Blah, blah, blah. Ask myself questions. I never once considered the 250 grand, and I never once considered the 80 hours a week for 2 years. That's called sunk investment. If I had, I'd still be there possibly, knocking out ice creams and chocolate bonbons or whatever, right? So do you see how important it is not to involve the time and the money? If you're making a decision, if you've got a business, right, make the decision based on the facts, not on what you've invested. Make sense or not? Right, so you go, I lost my train of thought a little bit there, I got a bit excited. So, does this make sense? This is the only 3 things you've got to remember, then the magic happens. Find out where you're going, and make it what you want, not what you think you can get. Make where you are, where you want to be. So don't sort of go through life going, yeah, I'll put my head down and I'll do that now and I'll forego all them things because it'll be all right later. It never will. Make yourself happy now. Then the magic happens. Because who's ever said, if only I'd been in the right place at the right time? Who's ever said that? Right, because them lucky bastards over the wall, the 10%, they always seem to be in the right place at the right time, don't they? Okay? So, when you know where you're going from here to there. But, if you go offline to here, now, if you don't know where you're going and you're here, any road will do, won't it? Any path, dead end, motorway, anything, doesn't matter. Because you don't know where you're going. But if you do know where you're going, you can get back on track. See how powerful it is? Right? Whatever happens, you can get back on track. Like, you know where you're going. It's like sat-nav, straight back on track. The other magic thing that happens is that opportunities along the way. Now, most of us, what happens is we grab everything. Oh, I'll have that. Who's got a loft? You ever been up there lately? You've got a load of stuff up there with just in case written on it, haven't you? Just in case we need a broken chair. Just in case we need that old bag without a handle on it. Just in case, right? Just in case. What a load of rubbish. Sling it out. Sling it out. Use the room for something else. So, you've got an opportunity. These opportunities. Now, if you want to start a business, how long? Really? Good Lord. I just got into top gear then, Abby. Right. So, if you want a shop, you're going to open a business, right? You want a shop. Now, driving around Birmingham, you're going to see a few, aren't you? Right? If you want a shop, an empty shop to start a business, you'll see bloody hundreds of them. But how many will I see? I know I see them all, but they won't register because I don't need them, because I know where I'm going. Do you see how much sense this makes? When you know where you're going, you don't go and pick up all the rubbish and say just in case on it. You say, that's what I need because that's where I'm going. So that makes sense. That's an opportunity, right? And then when you've got this clear and you're happy, this is most important, right? You've got to be happy, because when you're happy, you're relaxed. That just unfolds. You don't need no business plan. There ain't never been a business plan written that's ever worked. How can you write a business plan? You've got to be flexible, right? So you don't need a business plan, you just need to know where you're going, and everything starts making sense. You can't go off track. You see every opportunity and things just go boom, 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 because you're nice and relaxed, okay? Well, there's plenty more. I wish I could do, but it's all in the book. But listen, it's been great talking to you. Is there any questions? Cool, I've done a good job. I ain't even started yet. Well, there you go.
You know when you wrote your letter?
Yeah.
Did you actually post it to that person?
Yes.
If you've got say for instance, the person that's caused you issues around a little bit, you just write the letter and burn it.
But whatever, listen, what you've got to do is, it's the action of the forgiveness, right? That made it real, right? As when I did that, and I knew that he was going to read it, I couldn't joke. But the point is, you see, don't fool yourself. Don't walk around with your fingers crossed behind your back, because it don't work. You've got, see, all this is so simple, but if everyone in this room done it, your life would change in a flash. I'm telling you. There's only 3 things that you've got to remember. When times are hard, relax. And when they get a bit harder, relax. And when they're really, really terrible, what do you think you've got to do? Relax. Right, thanks very much for your time.